其實係咪唔使講咁大聲去聽？
真係嘅，會 adjust 嘅，唔係。
維英73集。幾點開始
？Ready 咗開始啦。
得。
Ready?
Yep.
I will do the introduction in Cantonese first, and then we will introduce you in English afterwards.
Yeah.
，Hello， 歡迎大家再翻到嚟我哋窩新沙華啦。
Hello。
我係阿 Graham，咁我今日我有同事，我哋意大利巴亞Sonny join 我哋嗰個 live 嘅。
大家好。
我哋上個月就試咗好多清酒啦，試好多 sake 啦。咁嚟到10月啦，秋天啦。咁我一樣好中意，好多人都好中意食嘅就係 white truffle 啦，就 white truffle 嘅 season 啦。咁 Sonny 你知唔知咩酒配 white truffle 最好咧？
咁梗係意大利酒王 Barolo。
係啦，咁今日咧10月啦，我哋就會連續4個禮拜就介紹唔同嘅酒莊，都係 from Barolo 同埋意大利酒王 Barolo 同埋意大利酒後 Barbaresco 呢兩個區嘅。咁首先我哋第一集咧就當然我哋有我哋最愛嘅 Ceretto 啦。咁啊 Ceretto 而家已經係去到第3個 generation 啦。咁佢哋1930年代咧就開始成立，開始釀酒啦。咁佢哋 Barolo 產區又有釀酒，咁 Barbaresco 產區同時都有釀酒嘅。咁佢哋酒莊家族咧就有好多好靚嘅田啦。咁所以我哋俗稱叫江區田啦。咁所以做出生產一啲咧好高質素啦，好高評分啦，而質量又好好嘅酒王同埋酒後啦。Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome back. Last month we drank a lot of Japanese sake. So going to autumn in Hong Kong in October. So welcome the truffle season. Of course, with white truffle, the best wine pairing should be Barolo and Barbaresco, the king and queen of Italian wines. And so in October, in 4 weeks, we introduce you different winery from the region. Barolo and Barbaresco, and the first episode of this month will be our beloved Ceretto. So Ceretto is now in the management of the 3rd generation. So on the other side of the camera, we have Mr. Federico Ceretto here to represent the winery, and also Mattia from the winery as well. So the both of them, in the normal time, come to Hong Kong quite often.
Yeah.
So we are missing you in Hong Kong.
Good friends.
Very good friends. So I pass the time to you guys, and I believe the harvesting already started, right? How is it going?
Harvest is. we were picking. Sorry, because today it's a little bit strange, but we were picking a grape of Nebbiolo from Briccoroque, where I live. So outside this, you see this beautiful room, but in reality, this is my kitchen table because we are harvesting outside. We have 36 people in the vineyard at the moment. Today was the right day to pick up the grape. We had 3 days of rain, and we were literally very thirsty of water after 2 months. So it was a perfect combination because in the last 10 days, we had 3-4 days of rain. So this was very good to drop the temperature. So from the end of the summer, the beginning of the fall, Piemonte, we are very close to the mountains. So as soon as we have the change of the weather with the rain, the temperature goes down 10-15 degrees Celsius. Last night when I arrived, it was like I came from Belgium, where Piazza Duomo restaurant got 18 place in the world, the 50 best restaurants. So we are super happy. Last night we had 7 degrees Celsius when I arrived. When I arrived, but this is a perfect condition. A little bit of rain, so the berries can be rich. They cannot be too dry. Too dry means that we have a problem when we press the grape. So the grape now is very healthy. It's very crunchy. It's very. We have a very good, very good quality and super healthy. And now it's the time. This week we will be taking home about how many?
There will be like
Today we are today we will harvesting about 500 basket. 500 basket, and it's gonna be about 500 every day, so 3,000. 3,000 baskets.
Is everything sandpick?
yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, if you want, I take my iPhone. I do the live. Literally, I open the window in front of us, and we have the people start. We started half an hour ago, Bricco Rock. We finished Serralunga, so we finished the vineyard Propos. We finished yesterday Barolo Brunate from La Morra. And the last one will be this year. The last one will be Bussia from Monforte, and but basically today we finish 80%.
So talk to me about different areas in Barolo and
Yes,
as,
different villages.
Villages.
Imagine a map of the villages around you, and you drive 5 or 6 kilometers. Each village, and you change the soil. Where is the map? Voila. Propos, there is the vineyard. This is exactly the grape. If you want, we are pressing this grape now at the winery downstairs. Yeah. The juice of Propos, it's really starting today. This vintage is a really, really good vintage.
Nice.
Really good.
So what about
good for the quality?
What about Barbaresco? So do you harvest in Barbaresco earlier?
Barbaresco was done 1 week before. Barbaresco arrived 1 week earlier because Barbaresco is as good as Barolo, as important as Barolo, but for a microclimate condition because of the river going through the appellation, the weather is slightly different, and the grape goes ripe 1 week before.
So is it warmer in Barbaresco area compared to Barolo?
Yeah, in reality, it's more balanced by the river. Barolo has a very big excursion, temperature excursion from the morning, the afternoon, and the night. We go in the morning, we have 10 degrees. In the afternoon, we have 25. In the night, we have 15. So in Barbaresco, the river helped to balance this excursion. So in the morning, the grape gets riper rather than Barolo. In Barolo, in the morning, it's very cold, very, very cold. I have my kids go to school in the village of Barolo, and every morning at 7:30, when I drop the kids, the temperature in downtown Barolo, the little downtown Barolo is like 1/5 of one chai. Okay, so when I go to
only 1/5 of one chai, only 1/5.
It's 1/5 of one chai Barolo, and the temperature is really cold, really, really cold. In fact, I wear this jacket, but now outside is between this morning and now we have 15 degrees difference.
15. Wow. Yeah. So you get a temperature difference
It's really good for
quite high, very good for the grapes. And so as we are tasting the Barolo and Barbaresco today, so can you like briefly introduce to your audience that what stylistically, what's the difference when you taste it?
Between Barolo and Barbaresco, as Federico mentioned before, when we speak about difference between these two wines, we speak about details. So we speak about very small details that can change in the wine tasting. Usually, we can say that Barbaresco can be really a little bit less tannin. So we have less tannin in the wine, and this is also one of the reasons why Barbaresco is picked up earlier than Barolo. Okay, Barbaresco can be, speaking really generically, bits more elegant, in terms of bouquet, in terms of balance in the glass. But really, we speak about small things. So the wine came from the same grape, Nebbiolo. The distance from Barolo to Barbaresco is very close. We speak about 5 to 10 kilometers maximum. In Barbaresco, altitude is a little bit lower. That is another reason why we pick up the grape earlier. Yeah, and all these points have the consequence that the aging for Barbaresco is only 3 years, while the aging for Barolo is 4 years. Okay, but is a consequence due to the soil, to the structure of the wine, to the style of the wine itself, that let us appreciate the Barolo a bit earlier compared to the Barbaresco, sorry, a bit earlier.
So that's why we are tasting the 18 after 3 years of aging.
2007.
Yeah.
And Mattia, how's the 2018 vintage for Barbaresco?
2018, as in general, we are having in the last, we can say 10 years in Langa, was a vintage that we can consider Mediterranean. So we get more the influence from the sea. As you know, Alba is in Alba and Barolo and Barbaresco area. We are speaking about a very special location, because in 1 hour and a half driving to the south, you are on the sea. 1 hour and a half driving northwest, you are on the mountain. So you are exactly in the middle. So depending by the vintage, depending by the year, you can get more influence from the mountain, and so you will have a cool and fresher vintage, or from the sea, and you will have more Mediterranean shades in the wine. So 18 can be considered a Mediterranean vintage. Okay, more from the, yeah, not too warm, so it's a very balanced vintage, but more Mediterranean.
As Ceretto is working on both area, Barolo and Barbaresco, I want to ask Federico, so did your family start in Barolo first or in Barbaresco first?
We started in, my grandfather, so the Ceretto winery, always had both Barolo, one Barolo and one Barbaresco. This was my grandfather, but my grandfather was negociant. He was buying the grape and often also buying the juice. No? My father, my grandfather is the guy, the man you see here. The three, this is a fantastic picture. The picture of my father, my aunt, and my uncle. Fantastic. So Riccardo, that man was in Alba, and Alba was the town where the grower, so the owners of the vineyard, the grape growers, they used to bring the grapes to the grape market for the major wineries buying 100% of the grower production. So in those days, no one was grower and producer. The vigneron, the vintners, the grower used to do their job, selling 100% of their grape to the grape market to be bought by few wineries, big wineries. This has been for 100 years, more than 100 years. In the 50s, in the 60s, the very first generation was my father and my uncle. Consider that the three little children you see in the picture, today they are 84. Show me the picture. The guy on the right, on the white, is my father Bruno, 84 years old. The little girl, it's my aunt Marisa, 83, and the boy, the little boy, it's Marcello, 81. Okay, so this is literally 3 generation.
Historic pictures.
Yeah, fantastic. This is fantastic. But we are a family. We are a family. So Riccardo, my grandfather, made wine, After Riccardo, the little boy in his hands, Marcello, made wine. Today, the little boy, my cousin, my age, I'm 44, my age, makes wine. And the next generation of the winemaker of the Ceretto will be someone from the Ceretto family, because now our kids are from 5 to 18 years old, so they are ready. The guy Riccardo, Riccardo, my nephew, is ready to go to university. He's studying Chinese at the Venetian University.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, because I dropped him at the train station last week crying, I don't want to go alone at the university. Do it, start your life, enjoy. I told him, like, listen to me. You're gonna have the best time of your life alone at the university for 5 years. Like, go. But no, so my father, Bruno and Marcello, in the 60s, they were 25 years old. They were ambitious. They started buying vineyards. The first one was Bricco Asili in Barbaresco, 1969. And then we had Brunate, Prapo in Barolo. Then we had, voila, the vineyard, the cellar. You see the cellar, and then you see the vineyards all around the cellar. And this is Bricco Asili. Yeah, this is like one of the grand crew of Barbaresco. And yeah. And also because it was possible to build the little small winery. Well, in Bricco Asili, we produce 3, 5, 8. We produce about 25. We vinify less than 25,000 bottles of Barbaresco. That is our production today. We now have a new single vineyard, the Gallina, that we acquired in 2018, released this year for the first time, with Gallina and another vineyard of San Giuliano that will be in the blend. We will hit about 35, 40,000 bottles of Barbaresco, but this is another story. It's a boutique winery, very boutique winery.
Tony, new wine?
Yes, we do, but it depends if you're lucky.
Oh, okay.
As Gallina, we don't have a lot of Gallina, but you can tell how small the vineyard is. So your production is very small.
Gallina, basically Gallina. I don't know if you have the map of Barbaresco area in your file, but Gallina, it's one of the great vineyards. Yeah, it's one of the great vineyards in the town of Neive. Barbaresco is a smaller appellation than Barolo. We only have 4 villages. The 3 magic terroir of Barbaresco are Barbaresco Village, Treviso with our Bernadotte vineyard, and Neive with Gallina and other vineyards. The parcel we were able to acquire, it's about 0.7 hectares.
Wow.
And we produce 2,800 bottles.
Oh, 2,000.
So
if you hear the noise, it's because we are in the kitchen.
So it really see if you're lucky enough to find a bottle in store. Yeah. So for the Gallina vineyard, as you just mentioned, it is such a small vineyard. Do you put any grapes into the Barbaresco?
Fare in silenzio. No, tell me. Yeah, it's fine. I just had to stop people going crazy around me. So, tell me about Gallina.
Well, I was just saying.
So for this one, the Barbaresco, the classical.
This is a blend. The grapes are from different vineyards. Does it include the Gallina vineyard?
All the vineyards of you?
Allora, yes, because you know that when we do our blend, well, you know, I tell our friends that when we release our Barbaresco Classico, the bottle in front of you, or the Barolo Classico, it's a representative blend of all the different parcels we have in all the terroir. It's a kind of mosaico of the appellation. There is a very small quantity of Gallina, but yes, yes, we have for sure. We have a little part of Gallina too. Yes.
So I also know that your vineyards are organically farmed. So since when you are doing organic, and what is the most like noticeable change after being organic in the wines?
I let my friend Mattia.
Mattia.
First of all, there is no different in the wine. So no one can tell you trying a wine that wine is organic and that one is done by conventional agriculture. First of all, that is a very important point. Okay. The differences that we have are in terms of quality of the grapes that we bring in the winery, and most important before that, the quality of the soil that we have in the vineyard with the organic and the biodynamic approach. So now we are able to have healthier and better, we can say, grape than before starting the organic and biodynamic approach. That's for sure. The soil is healthier, you have more biodiversity, you have a richer soil in terms of bugs, species, and other type of plants that are in between the fillers that helps this biodiversity to grow. And this is the key for organic and biodynamic approach. Obviously, combined to the fact that you don't use any chemical products, any pesticide, you don't disturb anymore. So all these steps bring us to have a better soil, and better soil, it means better grape and healthier grapes. Okay.
Yeah.
That is the result. What we are seeing, what we are going to have is that organic and biodynamic approach help the vine itself to be healthier. And so in complicated vintage, when you have, especially when you have too much rain, and so the risk of disease in the vineyard is higher, the plant is stronger than before and can, be on a better quality level compared to the previous time. That is what we are seeing day by day, year after year. Yeah, working in the vineyard.
So all of your wines are certified organic right now, right? Already. All
Wines are certified organic. All the vineyards are managed with the biodynamic protocol that we have been using for the last 12 in Barolo, especially in Briccorocchio, the vineyard in front of me. Yeah. For the last 12 years, we about the style of the wine. I want to say this: when you change your view, when you change your idea about what kind of wine you should release, what kind of wine you should you should put in the bottle.
Put in the bottle.
Because you have your name on the label, and also because you really believe that certain procedures are not sustainable anymore. Everybody talk about sustainable economy, sustainable environment, sustainable practices. Okay, so sustainable for us, we live, I tell you, we live, now I'm gonna close the computer, I'm gonna walk 3 steps and I will be in the vineyard of Barolo. When we first learned from Lydia and Claude Bourguignon, our 2 consultants for soil. So those 2, Lydia and Claude Bourguignon are the 2 experts from France that they made the biodynamic revolution in Burgundy 30 years ago. So they've been running all the Burgundians vigneron to switch from conventional to biodynamic. When they came here and we dig small holes in our soil, and we realized that our soil in the first half a meter or meter was dying, literally dying because of chemicals, because machine abuse in the vineyard, because of the no water drainage inside, but just a lot of erosion, because when the rain was coming and the soil was too pressed, the water slipped over it and took everything down. I mean, this was a mess. So this was not sustainable. This was not sustainable in the long term. So we changed practices. Of course, we change practices about the soil underground, and then you also change practices for the soil above ground. So you consider certain farming competition. So what you grow between the fillers, it's important as well. You don't have to kill everything but the grape. You can have a biodiversity above ground, because then you have elements that help the vineyard and help the nature, the environment. So the sustainable environment is an environment that protects itself with its own sources. It's like a baby. If your son, when it's 40 years old, still live with you, you feed him, you wash his clothes, you do everything for him, he's not sustainable. He's not able to face and to go and grow. He doesn't grow up well. So you need to have an environment that is sustainable, because the nature itself find his own balance to face thirsty. So Mediterranean vintages means warm and dry, against the humid and wet vintages where you have too much rain and too much snow, too much humidity. So the vines, they need to find their own balance. After that, you change your attitude with the soil, you change your practices with the plants, with the farming. Of course, you change also your style of wine, because then you go in the winery and you realize, maybe all of this selected yeast to manipulate the fermentation and bring the fermentation where I want to be, maybe it's not necessary, because this is not anymore the expression of the grape, it's the expression of the quality of the yeast that I buy from the yeast company. And then you say, maybe the oak influence on the wine is not anymore the expression of the wine, but is the expression of how much sweetness and how much tannin and how much concentration and color I want. So at certain point, you become a little bit allergic to manipulation, into maquillage. You don't allow manipulation to the soil. You don't allow manipulation to the grape growing, and then you don't allow manipulation to the winemaking. So the winemaker, my cousin is not a winemaker anymore. My cousin is a guy that follow from the moment that we see the first leaves on the vines to the moment where we finish the last racking in the cask. So this is the last element, because in order to produce wine, the nature alone doesn't produce wine. The nature produces grape. From the grape to make wine, you need one man that understands the grape and want to make from the grape what the grape terroir is. So this is the revolution. Before, everything was put on a paper, hectare, quantity, harvest, quality, scores, concentration, tannin, acidity, In fact, today, if you mention I work with the best laboratory of winemakers in this country. People kill you. Nobody wants to hear that you work with a laboratory that tell you how much acidity, how much tannin, how much sugar, how much protein you need to have in the wine. I can tell you that, today I can tell you that this is a fantastic bunch of grape, and we are very proud that we were able to arrive to this small, fantastic berry. They tested it because I don't trust myself.
Don't eat them more, otherwise we lose 1 or 2 bottles.
Now, eating a grape of Nebbiolo, you understand also why Nebbiolo is tannin and acid.
Tannin.
Yeah. And the skin and the phenolic maturation.
I mean, you have to trust my word because I'm the guy with the hand in the vines that today got the grape. But I did this now 3 years, from the pruning to the harvest, because it's the vineyard around my house, and at least I want to be totally involved with it. All the rest is my cousin Alessandro. But you can really see that this year we went through challenges, we went through different situations, and the grape and the vines, they behaved, they had their expression, and I can imagine now, after 3 years now, that this grape with the very tiny, this year, I don't know if you can see it, this year, it's really, really small berries, and they are very attached to the other. Usually Barolo, Nebbiolo, it's more spread. This time the bunches are so close to each other because they had to protect from the sun, and they had to not to lose humidity. So the berries, they closed next to each other, and they kept the humidity inside because they needed some water, because outside there was no rain. And you see it. You see that there is nothing you can do from it. You see that your vineyard, they adapted to the climate of this summer. And so I guess this wine will have this style somehow. I'm 100% sure that in 4 years I will be working with you guys. So we can take note now, and we can discuss about this bunch of grape in 4 years when we will release the wine, and we will do it.
Well, I think organic practices is a really big topic, and you hear a lot of information.
It's very hands-on. I think it's like a very Burgundian kind of winemaking philosophy compared to other part of the world. So it's very hands-on. So you take care carefully for every single vines and the grapes as well, and minimalistic kind of approach. And then indeed, when Federico mentioned the whole story of being organic and revitalize all the soil, the vineyards, and I compared to my first time I tried Ceretto, it's like 7-8 years ago, and I can see the change in the quality as well as the style of the wines. So nowadays, the wines of the Ceretto is I think it's become more
approachable,
more pure, more concentrated.
Bravo. Pure is exactly the word. And Sonia, approachable, it's the situation we are facing today. Today, unfortunately or fortunately, this depends on the people in front of us, because again, like Mattia said, conventional farming or biodynamic farming, it's something that you don't measure with the quality of the wine. You measure with the decision of the winemaker. Okay, I drive a full electric car, and my neighbor, the same vigneron, drive a 300 horsepower super pollution car. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you. Everybody make a choice, and then you decide for the future of it.
It's a way of living, I think.
But approachable, it's because today we are living a situation of climate change. We all know the climate change for us means that today I harvest, but I don't know. You think if we switch the computer, we can?
You consider this early harvest?
If I show you outside is blue sky today. We after the rain, you see the Alps, the mountains, and the snowy peaks of the Alps. Everything is green. Everything is beautiful. It's a fantastic environment. But this is not the epic vintages. Mattia is showing you.
Sure.
Mattia is coming with the new. Yeah, Mattia is showing you with his mobile what we have outside. So today we harvest and we finish the ripening of the grape in a very completely. Eccolo, voilà. Mattia is outside the window. Voilà. You see the basket, the red basket. These are the people that are coming to, coming. Look at this. Outside is 20 degrees.
Wow.
Those are all. Look at the blue sky.
Very nice
weather. Everything is green. No, everything is voilà. The cube in Brick Rock. So this is actually outside my door, my kitchen door, but we live voilà, Mattia with the window. We harvest in a different climate condition. So this grape don't have anymore the hyper tannic expression of the Barolo of 30, 40 years ago. My grandfather and my uncle as well in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they used to harvest 2-3 weeks later when the weather changed completely. The weather became really cold and really rainy. Today we have the contrast.
Yeah.
But in 2-3 weeks we will fall in the very Piemonte foggy nebbiolo. Foggy nebbiolo means foggy.
Nebbia.
The grape in that period was so thick to protect from the rain and from the cold, and so tannic that the wines were so hyper austere, that they were exactly not approachable wines that were able to enjoy 20 years later. Today we live in a different environment. Our wines, we eliminated certain things before. I told you, too much oak, too much manipulated fermentation. Everything is very pure, but it's also very approachable because today the grape doesn't live in the same environment of 30, 40 years before. So yes, finally, today you can enjoy beautiful Nebbiolo wines from Barolo and Barbaresco, from Nebbiolo d'Alba as well, with the pure expression of the varietal Nebbiolo, the color you see in the glass, the perfume of roses, of strawberries, of cherries you have in the nose, with a great balance between acid and tannin and fruit. But you don't have anymore this austerity, this grit, this harsh feeling. In fact, today, the success of Barolo and Barbaresco is because, I'm sorry for all your other suppliers, but the most gastronomic, fantastic wine to drink today, whatever it is, Cantonese cuisine, Sichuan cuisine I had yesterday in Anversa, whatever is Shanghai cuisine, or international Hong Kongese restaurant scenes, or Piemontese. My wife, Piemontese tagliatelle, tagliarin, and truffle, and here in the kitchen, the most amazing gastronomic wine today is Nebbiolo. It's Nebbiolo. From Nebbiolo, from your shop, from Watson Cellar. Watson Cellar shops are like my second house. I know each single shop like my kitchen. You can drink from 220 Hong Kong dollar to 3,000 Hong Kong dollar. You drink a kindergarten of magnificent bottle of wines for every occasion. In Burgundy, if you drink 220 Hong Kong dollars, you drink, it's a disaster. Burgundy, 1,000. Nebbiolo is, today Nebbiolo Piemonte is the most amazing place where you find bottles of Nebbiolo of different expression. Nebbiolo d'Alba, Barbaresco, Barolo, Cru, Grand Cru, that you can enjoy it. I mean, I think do you still represent the Burlotto?
Yes.
Come on, you drink Burlotto, Ceretto. You have another guy that I drive me crazy. Your selection of Barolo is fantastic. What do you have? Molino, Mauro Molino.
Molino.
Yeah. Oh, come on, guys. You drink. You have three monsters of elegance, history, tradition, and different vineyards. I mean, you can. You also have a Sottimano.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
In Barbaresco.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, guys, you know, you don't see me around 18 months, but you are the best place in my heart. I buy more wine from your shop than you buy from me. You have a range of wines that are unbelievable.
I think you two can part-time in a store.
Frederick or Matilda can replace you to host the Facebook Live. Frederick, we are drinking the Barolo 2017. 2017, I know that you didn't make Bricoroque. And can you tell us more about this vintage? And while you don't have Bricoroque single vineyard Barolo, do you put most of the grapes to this wine?
Yeah, allora 17 has been very challenging, like we face
2003.
2003. 17 and 3 can be more or less the same weather condition, same temperature, no rain at all, was very dry and very hot vintage. So in that vintage, what we did, we decided to, obviously the approach in the vineyard during all the season was completely different according to the weather. And what we did earlier harvest. So we prefer to have a wine a little bit more focused on the freshness and the acidity instead of the power and the strength of the tannin. Okay. In that type of vintage, you have to choose, and what is the key point is the harvest time. So harvest moment, so where you pick the grape from the plant is crucial, is very important. In a couple of days, you can the development on the plant can be very high, and you can miss acidity and gain too much sugar. So in that vintage, is very crucial the harvest time. So from this type of vintage, you can immediately understand a producer that work well in the vineyards and as well in the cellar, but most important is the vineyard, from another one that instead didn't understand the vintage. We tried the 2003, we tried the 2017 nowadays. We can definitely say that one of the most important things for a winemaker, but for all over the world and for everybody, is the experience. 2003, we got 14 years to understand how we can better approach that vintage. And we arrived at 2017 with more experience, more confident, and more sure about what we were doing in the vineyard and which are the right steps to follow and be able to get a wine that, honestly speaking, shows the vintage, which is important, very important, and is very good, is very balanced. So from that type of vintage, you understand the level of the producer and how they work in the vineyard before putting the wine in the bottle. So it's a vintage that is following you, Sonny. It's more approachable because it's a wine that expresses a lot to the nose, okay, and in the mouth remain a little bit lighter and really more interesting to be open tonight and enjoy it easily. There are cooler vintages that instead shows you more austerity, and so you can keep it for a longer time. 17 is a bottle of wine. It's a vintage that tonight you go home, before you go to Watson shop, you buy a bottle, you go home, you open it, and you are sure that you will enjoy a beautiful bottle of wine. Beautiful. Very open to the nose. It's a beautiful bouquet, very floral and fruity, very sensual. And the body of the wine and the tannin of the wine are very integrated in it. It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the tannin structure, like they are here. So like Nebbiolo is a high tannin grapes. So they are here.
Voilà.
But at the same time, you feel very ripe and smooth, very chewy. Wow.
Voilà.
Wow. How much to savor? Well, I think a lot of the customers are afraid, not afraid, but they always look at the vintage, and sometimes they don't feel confident for the challenging vintage. But today we taste the barrel 2017. I feel this is a really well-made wine, and you can see how the winemaker handle the challenging vintage. And actually, a good producer, you shouldn't miss the bad vintage as well.
The vintage is the vintage as Burgundy teach us is crucial for choosing the bottle of wine you want to open. So vintage, warmer vintages are able to be enjoyed earlier than the other. So to drink now, for example, another beautiful vintage to drink in this moment is the 11 vintage. I had a bottle of Prapo last week. It's beautiful. It was a warm vintage, and the wine shows very well.
Yeah, it was a warm and very dry vintage, 2011. Also, this is something that is a big change for us. We go through 2-3 months in the summertime with no rain. Before, we were used to have small storms, June, July, August. Now we have heavy hail storms 1 or 2 times, 20 minutes. This year we had 40 minutes of a hailstorm in the Arnese territory, rather than having 5, 6, 7, 8 days, in the 2 months with good rain. So the weather is also changing in these shorter and stronger storms. You see around the world, you see all this dramatic climate change situation. I mean, in a small part, we live the same. I mean, instead of having the weather is being more regular, the weather is becoming crazy, like people. One day everybody is normal, everybody's quiet. The next day you freak out, and people get so crazy, they freak out. And the weather is the same. World is becoming chaotic. It's apparently quiet, and then suddenly it's chaotic. Philosophy today, during harvest time, we also become philosophers.
So I know that Federico is always very busy man, and so a few years ago he purchased a Bustia, so another new single vineyard wine, and recently the Galena in Barbaresco. So do you have any new project coming up?
Oh, sì. Sì. No, allora, bravo, grazie. This is a very good, it's a very, very, very good question. Graham, listen. When we talk about Barolo before you mentioned that we are more of a Burgundian kind of. Okay, this is a very proper analysis. When my grandfather used to make one Barolo, and all the vineyards he was buying grape from come in one big pressed all together, cask finito, 100 hectoliter cask. Then we went through the single vineyards time, Asili, Bernadotte, Barbaresco, Brunate, Propos, Bricoroc, and Barolo. Now we are changing. Now we have the lower part of Brunate, Zonchera, and the lower part of Propos, Gabutti together, separate, but they will end up together in the Barolo Classico, plus a little bit of the grape of the single vineyard. Now we have Bricoroc with one parcel of Bricoroc that is the other side of the road where the MGA, the crew is the Rocche di Castiglione. So next year, I'm happy to tell you that you will receive a new single vineyard Barolo of Ceretto Rocche di Castiglione.
Oh, wow, nice.
So slowly, so basically slowly what happened now that we are very conscious and we are really taking the terroir expression out of every single parcel. Now we are very, we are ready to break the mosaico of the Barolo and take the pieces, Brunate, Propos, Cannubi, Bussia, Colonnello. Maybe one day we will have the Bussia Colonnello vineyard, Rocche di Castiglione and Bricoroc. So in the future, the village wine Barolo Classico, so the blend will be reduced, and see, is always more and more and more reduced, and each parcel will be taken out and vinified individually 100%, and we will release Grand Cru, Bricoroc, Cannubi San Lorenzo, Brunate, Propos, Bussia, and then maybe Premier Cru, Zonchera, Gabutti. We will be able to drive this also because we all the producers, we are super ready to the vineyard classification. We know what the value of Bricoroc, the value of Rocche di Castiglione, the value of Bussia, the value of the heart of Bussia Colonnello, the difference between Brunate and Zonchetta, Propos and Gabutti. So we are ready. This is the evolution we are going to have. Who's coming? Who's the guy with the hand?
You guess? You guess?
I think I know the guy. Who's the guy?
Hey, there we go.
Oh man, you break my heart, Jeremy. Jeremy, you break my heart.
It's very good to see you.
Aspetta. Let me. Here's it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
So we just very first information that we got a new single cool Barolo next year.
Hey, good to hear.
How are you? But we do this later, Jeremy. But it's so good to see you. See you smiling like this. Yeah.
Here I am. I'm back in Hong Kong. I had nearly 2 months back in Australia, but now I'm back. I'm free of quarantine. Back home. And we can't wait to see you both here in Hong Kong once we're allowed.
As soon as possible.
The first flight landing with no quarantine, I will be on that flight.
Driving.
Exactly. I will be the pilot of the flight. Jeremy, we are here. I show you to you as well. We are here because the problem of my winery is that I was without traveling for 18 months. So now I go everywhere. I'm in every little part of the business. So now in the last 18 months, I did in Bricoroche, it's my vineyard, I did 100% of the vineyard work.
Wow.
See, you know, when you're here, you know, we never had this chance to be.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I thought it was a great chance for me to go deeper in this. So today we are harvesting outside my house, physically outside my house. We are harvesting Bricoroche after we have been pruning and doing all the different steps. Fantastic! It's a very good day today.
It's great to get your hands back in the soil and to feel the land.
Fantastic.
What your team does every day, you can do it as well now.
And you know, and surprisingly, it's a fantastic vintage. So at least, you know, at least I can say, well, you see, when I work in the vineyard, we end up with a fantastic wine. You know, the problem is when I'm away. You know, but
yeah.
No, right.
You probably already covered it over the last hour, but is your quantity down a lot?
Is mine?
Volume. The volume of your harvest.
We had volumes. Well, we had a very severe decrease of production of Arnaise, but because of the storms, because of hailstorms.
Yes.
1.5 months ago, and then we have reduction when we did Dolcetto and Barbera grape, the first early harvesting grape, because we were really 2 weeks ago, we were still in a very, very hot, crazy summer. I mean, I'm talking about 30 degrees. That for you in Hong Kong is like the fresh breeze. The fresh breeze in the morning. For us in Piedmont, it's like Sahara. So the young reds, they suffered of a decrease of quantity, but basically because the grape was light in weight, because there is no water.
Yes.
And but then we started to add rains, different rains, and then sorry, things happen in my house. So literally, because I'm harvesting. I also have people in the house and doing things. No, Barolo, we were lucky. We had this rain 3 times. I told them 3 times, and the temperature dropped almost 15 degrees in the last 10 days. So now we have the perfect condition. We have in the night 10 degrees Celsius, even less. In the morning, very cold, and in the afternoon, warm. So now it's 2 o'clock, exactly 2 o'clock. We are in the middle of the harvest of Bricoroche. We started at 12:30, and it was 22 degrees. And now perfect. In fact, you know, I can harvest in my perfect Ceretto jacket. But just because I wear this, because they see me in the vineyard, like, who are you? I'm the boss.
You can write Federico at the top.
They give me forks, and they say, okay. You know, so they don't usually see me, but this is for me, it's a fantastic experience.
Yes.
Because when you have the grape in your hand, and you know, I was telling them before that when you have the grape in my hand, this is 3 years now. Harvest I did 3 years, but the whole viticulture process is the first time. You see the differences. You really see the differences of the vines, of the leaves, of the bunches, and you understand what kind of climate. Well, you understand. I understand because my team, the guy every guy I work with, because you know, then I jump. You know me. I jump from one place to another. You know, I talk with everybody. Well, they've been explaining me. They've been explaining me like, look this, look at this, look at that. This is really special. And outside today, they are super happy because they say it's one of the healthiest grape we ever harvested so far. So small berries, a lot of compact bunches, bellissimo, molto molto bello. I know I'm at 44, I'm a beginner. This I'm a beginner again. This excites me a lot.
Oh, that's good. You're out there picking. Good to hear.
Bene. Molto molto bene. No, we are tasting good vintages. The 17 gram Sonny, the 17 in your glass. The only main difference I can tell you to notice with the glass in your hands in tasting is that 17 early harvested, very dry season. So in the aftertaste, in the long taste of the Barolo, you taste a little bit of green finish. This is because, of course, when it's too hot, when it's too dry, we need to jump in the vineyard earlier. So we don't have 100% full fruit ripeness. And this doesn't mean often only acidity. We do this because we want to protect the acidity, of course. And I think in this case, we did a great job by balancing the acidity and tannin. But the fruit can be a little bit green. The reason why the 17 Barolo looks, in the taste feels a little bit light, not a little bit, definitely lighter in tannin, is because we don't do a longer phenolic extraction because the grape was not fully phenolic ripe. When I say phenolic, please, people listening, translate in terms of ripening of the skin. We can have the ripening of the juice, so what is inside the grape, and also the skin. But those are two elements. The fruit contains water, sugar, and minerals, and it's important to get quantity of wine and sugar, alcohol content. But the skin gives you the color, the flavors, the perfume, and the longevity of the wine. When the skin is not 100% ripe, you don't want to press the wine and ferment too long because you don't want to extract the 100% of the potential of the skin because a little bit of the skin is green. You had to go in the vineyard, you have to harvest the grape because the juice was ripe, but the skin was a little bit behind. And this is the 17. It's a good thing because it's lighter in tannin. The wine is approachable, like Sonny noticed perfectly. And the wine is super good to drink now.
Yeah.
The 18 Barbaresco are bigger. You see the color, you see the intensity of the wine. In Barbaresco 18, we were able to harvest, we were able to have a richer component of the skin, of the full quality of the wine. And the wine is, you can see it from the color. You can see the wine has different intensity. So, my friends, not often Barolo is the best wine and Barbaresco is the second wine. And if you really want to be my friend, don't say Barolo is the first wine and Barbaresco is the second wine. Otherwise, when you come to visit us, you can only visit Barolo because in Barbaresco they...
We could say it's like a good
it's an Italian advice. Take it away. Take it as a...
So Graham suggested Côte de Nuit and Côte de Beaune.
Yeah. I want to go to our friends at Sottimano together and be happy. Everybody's happy.
Okay, thanks again, Federico and Mattia, your time to explain these two beautiful wines to us. And good luck to your harvest. I better let you have lunch. It's already 2 p.m.
No, it's harvest.
Lunchtime. It's lunchtime. I forgot lunchtime. No, it's lunchtime.
A harvest lunch. I'm sure a harvest lunch will be absolutely special.
Sì, let's go and buy some truffle.
Okay. Thank
Allora,
you.
Graham, Sonny, and Jeremy, special guest, you know, like, cheers.
Yes.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you, Watson's Wine, for everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thanks to you.
Chin chin.
Thank you.
Did you?
Bye bye.
Grazie.